As governor, Tom McCall has continually made extra efforts to preserve the better qualities of Oregon life, including its cultural assets and tourist attractions. He is convinced, as are we, that the arts are an essential part of Oregon's enviable livability. I'm very pleased to present the governor of our state of Oregon, the Honorable Tom McCall.
Thank you, President Crosby, Angus and Gertrude, John and Mary Jane Delaback, Audrey McCall, Secretary Podesta, all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen here this afternoon. One thing being governor has taught me in a little over 3 years, and that is there is no exact science to the dedication of any kind of a facility. There were a few self-effacing characters out there cranking on the key, and we were about 2/3 through opening the door before we discovered we didn't even have Angus with us. And we were about 3/4 done, and we found we didn't even have Arthur Carpenter with us. But I think we all got our hands on the key, and we opened what I think many actors will agree is the most beautiful, perhaps not the largest, but the most beautiful and the most flexible in terms of presentation theaters in the entire United States. And so, what do you say to a man whose dream really has fully come true? You tell him that he labored long and hard for it. Of course, he knows that. That he is among the blessed to have reached that particular goal and that dream, the fulfillment of it, well, he knows that too. That it is now a living, lasting dream that will enrich the hearts and minds of those unborn. Well, I think he knew it when he started this journey so long ago, and so alone. Shaw said all great things begin as blasphemies. It may be a blasphemy, as a matter of fact, to mention Shaw this close to Shakespeare. And I understand that crusty gentleman felt that some of his words were superior to those of the bards. At any rate, it must have been a theatrical and academic blasphemy in 1935 to proclaim a Shakespeare festival for Ashland, Oregon. When that first grain of wheat was planted on this hill, the scoffers and the coughers both left a great deal to be desired. But to use Shaw's words again, one man that has a mind and knows it can always beat 10 men who haven't and don't. The dream did not even in the beginning walk alone. There were loving hearts, there were talented hands, and a legion of unnamed laborers who soon came into this story. That was a brave and daring band back in the depression-ridden 30s. They flourished in what some professors like to call the valor of ignorance. They didn't know that a Shakespearean festival in a what's-its-name town in way out there in that whatchamacallit state was ridiculous. They even had the temerity to call it the first annual Shakespearean festival. So they went on and flourished and built under the golden suns of summer a world of dreams by night. What they did has at last been appreciated, and the leader of that idea, the man who had the dream, which was not all a dream, has finally been honored in perpetuity, and it's high time. I think in the richness of this moment, ladies and gentlemen, that man is probably thinking of the many golden lads and lassies that have, like summer wind, flashed across the history of this great and unfolding deed. It took the love and it took the labor of many to reach this day. Some of those artists are here in living flesh, but the rest are here too in eternal spirit. There is no greater repository of gentle ghosts, you know, than a theater, even one that is yet to feel its maiden buskin. These walls and wings are singing with the ghosts who revel with us on this fine day. And this we know, for any human effort to survive, there must be a solid center, there must be a power source, an anchor man, a melder and welder of human art and human craft. It is fortunate this organization had that kind of a center, a man whose skill at bringing harmony to chaos and uniting enemies into armies and changing tears to laughter may never have been surpassed anywhere. Anyone who has ever been in the show business, and I take delight that that includes me peripherally at least, and some think I'm still in it. Anyway, show business does not attract many shy, retiring, self-effacing, committee-oriented people. Sometimes it takes an iron baton to wrench music out of an orchestra. He can do that too, but he had something else. He had the greatest help any man can know, a wife who approves of what he's doing and knows enough about it to help share the load. Gertrude Bowmer is noted for many things. She can name on sight every member of the company the first day they arrive. She's a splendid hostess and cook. She has all the skills of a top-ranked secretary, and she knows how to get her husband back on the track occasionally when he gets derailed. So if I were on your board of directors, and one of my staff members is, and he is honored, and we are honored that he has been named to the Kennedy Commission for the Performing Arts just this past week, Ron Schmidt. If I were on your board of directors, I think I would find a spot in this building, a green room, the foyer, a room where people will always mingle in good fellowship, and that's the kind of a room that I would call the Gertrude Bowmer room. But today, overwhelmingly, we honor the man who is the author of this magnificent success. We thank him for his effort. We bless him for his talent. We salute him for the great and good fame he's brought to Oregon from all over the world. We owe him much, and certainly words will not pay it all. He will be best honored by the living, breathing future of this beautiful theater. Robert Edmund Jones said a theater is a very strange place. It deals not with logic, but with magic. It deals with witchcraft and demoniac possessions and forebodings and ecstasies and mystical splendors and legends and playthings and parades and suspicions and mysteries and rages and jealousies and unleashed passions and thrilling intimations and austerity and elevation and luxury and ruin and woe and exaltation, yes, and secrets. The shudder, the shaft of chill moonlight, the footfall on the stair, the face at the window, the boy's hand on the hill. Or as H.L. Mencken put it, the theater is filled with the grand clash and glitter of things. And tonight, in this magnificent edifice, all of that begins, and tonight will be the beginning of the rest of this remarkable achievement's history. The story of the theater itself would, I think you will agree, make good theater. So for this glorious day, for the many talents, the young ones that will begin fine careers here, for the human hearts and minds that will grow because of this enchanted art in this enchanted place, and to the acclaim and respect it has and will bring to the state of Oregon. I speak as governor, I speak for myself personally, I speak for the people of my state by ascribing this significant moment of dedication to the man most responsible for it happening, to the man whose name this structure will perpetuate, to the man, I think, more than anyone except God Almighty, has had to do with the style of our state of Oregon, and to the man who can still say, I dreamed and dream it still, Angus Livingston Bowmer.